Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Listen, if there is one thing you need to remember about a tyrant, it's that they believe that not only do they have ultimate power, but they are the only ones with rights. They have the right to tell you what to do, and they expect you to listen. And when United States governors start talking with those words, it's time to get a little bit concerned. And that's exactly what Governor Kathy Hochul of New York did just recently in about a 1-minute video in response to the anniversary of the Supreme Courts Bruen decision, talking about how her rights were taken away, her right to take your rights away. You absolutely will not believe some of the stuff she said. So we're going to take a look at some clips from that video, talk a little bit about it. This channel is proud to be sponsored by SDI, Sonoran Desert Institute. Have you ever wanted to learn more about gunsmithing, firearms repair, or shooting sports management? Enroll in one of SDI's online programs or courses to take your hobby to the next level. Payment plans and funding options are available, so visit the link below or call 480-999-4767 to learn more. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start off by showing you guys the first little clip here.
1 year ago this week, the Supreme Court's decision to make our state more dangerous.
So she said right there that the Supreme Court, in its decision, made her state more dangerous by allowing people to defend themselves. Apparently, Kathy Hochul does not like people having the ability to defend themselves, which should be your first red flag right there. But let's move on to the next clip.
And take away the rights of a governor to protect her people from concealed carry weapons.
So she says right there that the Supreme Court took away her rights as governor to protect people from concealed carry weapons. Now, first off, even though you might think you do, and even if it's written on paper somewhere in your state, you don't have rights. You have duties. And yes, you do have a duty to protect your people. Protect the people of the state of New York. One of the great ways that you can do that is by equalizing them against the bad guys that are out there seeking to do them harm. But I don't really hear you talking much about those people. The only people I hear you talking about are people who wish to protect themselves. So apparently she thinks that, well, the Supreme Court took away her rights, basically to take away your rights. That's what she's really mad about. She had taken your rights away, or the rights had been taken away from people in New York for quite a while. She would like those rights to remain restricted. Supreme Court took that ability away from her, and she doesn't like that she's not able to restrict your rights anymore. That, I mean, if that doesn't say it all right there, what does?
It was a reckless and shocking decision. We knew we had to take matters into our own hands. We could not let the status quo rest.
So the Supreme Court's decision was both shocking and reckless. Shocking and reckless. Basically, what these people think the Supreme Court did is they feel like they expanded our rights. I've heard a lot of that on the news. Oh, they expanded rights, expanded this. No, they didn't expand anything. They simply clarified rights that had already existed. That's all the Supreme Court did. That's all the Supreme Court does, is simply clarifies things. But again, they think they expanded it. So what did they decide to do? They decide to, well, forget about the Supreme Court. They're going to take matters into their own hands.
And we said we're not going to surrender to this reality.
So did you pay close attention to what she said right there? She said that they're not going to surrender to this reality. The reality is that the people have a constitutional right, and she doesn't want to surrender to that reality because that's what the Supreme Court said. The Supreme Court said that people have a right to carry outside the home for their own personal defense. That was what the Supreme Court was basically adjudicating. That's what they came out with their order and said people have a right. And she said, them being the government, they're not going to surrender to that reality, the reality that you have rights.
So I called the legislature back into session. I pushed for new common sense concealed carry laws, which were passed and went into effect on September 1. We strengthened background checks and required training. We banned concealed carry holders from sensitive locations.
So what does she do in the face of the Supreme Court saying that you have rights? Well, she decides to add more gun control, enhanced background checks, more excessive training and fees for people who look to get a permit. And then when you get a permit, you pretty much can't carry anywhere because just about everywhere is listed as a so-called sensitive place. So basically what she did is made things worse for people in New York than it was during or before the Bruen decision, right? So things actually got worse once they said you had rights. So again, she didn't like that. She decided to work against it by creating even more gun control, and she says it's to save lives, when in reality, it makes people more susceptible to becoming victims. So this is a governor of one of the most populated states in the entire country. And there's other governors that think this exact same way. Take a look at California, take Newsom, take a look at Pritzker in Illinois, take a look at Washington, take a look at other states who are doing the exact same thing. They feel the exact same way that Hochul does. They may not say those certain parts out loud, but that's exactly what they think. And you can see that just based on their actions alone. The laws that were passed post-Bruen, the bans that were created post-Bruen, everything that's happened post-Bruen is basically to spite Bruen, right? So they didn't like the decision. They felt like it went against what they claim is their rights as governor, which don't exist. Again, governors have duties. They don't have rights. They have a job to do. You're one of the people. Now, it's not like, any other job. You're one of the people, and you're supposed to do the duties for the people that elected you to do those duties. That's it. You're no more special than anybody else. So you don't have like these extra rights that weren't written in the Constitution. You don't have extra rights that the people don't have. There's nothing like that, okay? So these governors that are going about doing what they're doing these days and making videos like they're doing some great thing and they're a real humanitarian is a scary prospect, because the more governors start to talk like this, the more you see that these states, whatever color they are, these states are totalitarian and they are tyrannical. There's no other way to look at it. So, I just wanted to show you guys that video. I thought it was very eye-opening, and I thought it was something that definitely needs to be discussed, and people need to see what's really going on here. You don't even have to pull back the curtains anymore. They make videos about it on their own, and they're proud of it. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that. Thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, and you guys have a great day.